ask yourself why. Why are you going to do this business? If it's for monetary, yeah, maybe it's not the right reason. All right, Roel and I do this. We have Ystilo because we want to innovate. We Our eyes twinkle when we think and we collaborate. Like when we have an epiphany na, "Uy, ang ganda neto, patok to." And that's what we want to do. We want to make sure that when we share to our clients bright ideas to enhance their brand, that's what we want to showcase. So as an advice for those aspiring business owners, find your why, have a concrete plan. Hindi lang pwede yung up in the air na, oh, maybe I'll do this, maybe I'll do that. It has to be documented. You need to have a checklist. You also need to make sure that you have the right tools to help you. If you're doing this as a side hustle, you have to have a mindset na this is going to be a marathon. There will be long days, long hours, but you have to make sure you have time for yourself and for your family.
So makakausap po natin ngayon ang may-ari ng Ystilo, Miss Rowena Bautista. Kamusta ka?
Hi, Miko. Good evening. Thank you very much for having me. Okay naman. It's been Happy New Year. A bit late Happy New Year. Yeah, we're getting the ball rolling sa business namin sa Ystilo. Yeah, so we're really looking forward to 2025. Yeah.
That's nice. Kamusta naman ang buhay mo sa Pilipinas before ka mag-migrate sa Australia? Ano yung pinaka na-miss mo, Rowena?
So before Australia, I used to work in a call center for I think 7 years. Dun ko na-meet yung husband ko, si Roel. So both of us run Ystilo as well. I guess the thing I miss about sa buhay sa Pilipinas in comparison with here is the one, Christmas is the most enjoyable thing in comparison to here. You have your family and friends, but more important, I think what's difficult or what was challenging for us when we migrated here was adapting to living on your own. Siguro when we were in the Philippines, we were very grateful and very blessed that we were living with our parents. And then when my husband and I migrated, it was really different. We had to do everything on our own. Di kami sanay. And I think that's when we matured as husband and wife. And then I studied here I did my bachelor's and my master's here. So I'm a full-time teacher, and my husband is also working full-time as a warehouse supervisor. So totally different from the call center BPO industry. And I think that's one of the things that we've taken for granted, but we've learned and we've grown into more, mature human beings.
All right, that's a good. So you were a call center in the Philippines before, right?
Yeah.
And then yeah, I used to do call center before in the Philippines as well. It's on in Muntinlupa, so there's a call center there. It's beside Convergys. Well, yeah, I used to do that, but that was a long time ago.
Yeah, I think what was this? My husband and I started 2007, and then yun yung phase ng pag-grow ng BPO. Yeah, I used to work at Eastwood, then Teletech, and then left, and then came back to Teletech again, and then my sister said, why don't you migrate here, give it a go. I went here first for 2 weeks, and then she said, just test the waters, see if you like it here. Nag-enjoy naman ako, but coming here for a holiday is different from migrating here. Totally different. Pero again, naging humbling experience sa amin ni Roel when we transitioned to a different lifestyle.
So, matanong ko rin, what inspired your decision to move to Australia, and what were your initial challenges as a migrant? And also how did your Filipino heritage influence you approach to settling in a new country like Australia?
Well, what inspired myself and Roel was we asked ourselves, we were happy working in the call center industry, but we asked ourselves, do we want to stay here for the long run? And I guess our lifestyle after work wasn't really healthy. And, we were saying, tumatanda na kami, gusto namin magkapamilya. Maybe we want to explore another industry. And then this when I told that to my sister who lives here, or she actually told me, you know, just take a vacation here. There's a lot of opportunities that you may want to explore. And when we moved here, it was really challenging with looking for a job, I guess. I've heard a lot of stories across the globe ng mga Pilipino na um, may doctorate sila pero pag-migrate nila sa ibang bansa, it was really difficult to get a job. And I think all majority of the Filipinos who migrate experience the same challenge, looking for that job, adapting to the Australian culture, learning even though we all speak English. Of course, the adapting to the culture and the accent took time as well. The values was also difficult to manage, but what we wanted to make sure was that when we migrated here to Australia was that we wanted to preserve our being a genuine and authentic Filipino, making sure that we continue that and we pass that along to our son.
That's great. So, what sparked the idea for this Estilo business? How did the journey to start your business unfold?
Yeah.
Because you're a Filipino migrant, we have to settle here first, and then what's the idea why you started this?
Actually, before or bago mag-estilo, Roel and I worked in the restaurant or hospitality industry. So kitchen hand ako and cook. And then Roel used to make pizzas and he delivered pizzas as well. And we said, you know what? We developed a lot of good skills. Maybe we should open a restaurant. And then COVID hit. And then sabi namin, after realizing COVID has changed all of our lives, I guess we realized that um, we need to prioritize ourselves, our health. If we wanted to do or enter or have a restaurant, parang hindi magiging life work balance. So we said when COVID hit and when we were stuck at home, we said to ourselves, and we saw a lot of businesses na nagsara. And it was very painful to see that a lot of our friends and just looking across Melbourne and Victoria, marami nagsara. And we said maybe we should do a business that can re-promote their brand, re-promote their identity, and for those who also want to start a business on their own, to promote their identity through, customization of apparel or marketing products. So, well, sabi niya, sige, pinag-usapan namin, it was a 1-year planning phase. Kasi ano yun tug of war kami kung whether we will pursue it or not. And then he said, look at this. And then we looked at a printer and he said, this is a very interesting technology that's, emerged around 2021. And he said, maybe we could do this for small businesses muna within, our friends. And then eventually, hopefully we can grow and help Filipino businesses. So when we saw that our direct-to-garment printer, I think what gives us the passion, yung sa amin ni Roel, is we want to innovate to help other Filipinos really showcase their identity, authenticate their identity in the Melbourne, market.
That's nice. So, I said there's a lot of challenges about being a migrant entrepreneur. Sabi mo nga, you have to show and adapt sa Australian culture. How did you overcome them when you're starting out this business?
We had so Roel and I, naghati kami sa task. Usually ako yung sa planning, and of course I always keep him in terms of paano namin the first 6 months, yung honeymoon phase namin sa Estilo. Sabi namin, oh, ganito yung pag-market natin within our friends, and then let's attend a couple of exhibitions, business expos. And then we were very blessed with the people that the network that we started to grow. And they reached out to us like, "Uy, Silo, this is new. Not many within the Filipino community. Walang masyadong printing business. So maybe you want to showcase what you have." Sabi namin, okay, yeah, that's a great opportunity. Um, I think the first year was a thrive. We enjoyed it. It was very engaging for us. We developed a lot of projects, logos, and really created a lot of projects. I think what we've hit as a wall is kasi ang business hindi siya race, it's a marathon. And we are very blessed that it's already our third year. But I guess last year was a struggle in terms of balancing, kasi nag-work kami full-time. This is a side hustle. We do want to eventually make this our full-time occupation. But we also have a kid. We have a son that we want to make sure that he grows to, enjoy with us yung time namin. I think that's one of the challenges that we have in our business, yung life-work balance. And how do we actually maximize? We live in 2025. There are so many resources that I didn't see last year na siguro there was a certain point towards the end of the year na burnout kami. As business owners, ang dami namin gustong gawin pero lagi kami nag-uusap ni Roel, dapat natin gawin ganito, ganito. And then we tell each other, when are we gonna do it? Wala tayong oras. So, yun yung biggest struggle namin that we faced in our second year of our business.
Siyempre, meron tayong Filipino background. How does your being a Filipino shape the identity and value pala ng business mo?
I think our identity as yung nasasabi namin ni Roel, yung mga workmates niya, there's a point to what I'm saying. Mga workmates niya kung karamihan Filipinos or some Filipinos. And Aussies love the work ethic of the Filipinos. And as our identity, Roel and I, yung work ethic namin, even though we're so tired, but we want to make sure that our customer and our client, really appreciates how we've placed effort, how we've taken intricate time to show their Filipino identity in a wider market. That's the reward for us. It's not the monetary value. Sure, the revenue comes in. That's part of it. Pero yung pag nakita namin na yung client namin, sabi nila, wow, I didn't think na you could actually integrate yung values and identity ng pagka-Pinoy, yet still look at on a multicultural level yung brand namin. So that's how we try our best to weave in our values, our identity within Stilo for our customers.
Wow, nice. Meron bang milestone or achievement yung estilo na sobra kang proud of?
I think in terms of as a Filipino migrant, those who ang namin meet na Filipino business owners na gusto nilang i-showcase na eto yung identity namin pero hindi namin alam. I don't want yung typical na AI generated logo. I don't want na I want to show how we are as Filipinos, but eto yung ginagawa namin. I think one of the biggest milestones that we've achieved was when we created InstaSkin's aesthetic logo. So InstaSkin, Roel envisioned that ang logo niya isa, parang Pinoy, pero it's InstaSkin aesthetic, to really showcase that her number one vision is her customers. So ang tagal na ginawa ng pagplano and pag-collaborate ni Roel on how and namin in terms of how to create that logo. But that logo, if you actually look at that small business, she showcases that everywhere. That's her business already. And I think that's one of our testaments as Estilo that yes, we take, we show you different drafts. If you don't like our draft, then we'll work on it again. We really want to make sure that you feel that as our clients, we really think about what is valuable to you. Hindi lang yung, isasalpa ko na lang na, yung ganitong business, ganito ginagawa. So we really have a process in terms of how to do that.
What advice would you give to a fellow Filipino migrant who say aspire to start their own business in Australia?
Funny you say that because your interview or your podcast with Alex a few weeks ago about ask yourself why. Why are you going to do this business? If it's for monetary, yeah, maybe it's not the right reason. All right, Roel and I do this. We have Estilo because we want to innovate. We our eyes twinkle when we think and we collaborate. Like when we have an epiphany na, "Uy, ang ganda neto, patok to." And that's what we want to do. We want to make sure that when we share to our clients bright ideas to enhance their brand, that's what we want to showcase. So as an advice for those aspiring business owners, find your why, have a concrete plan. Hindi lang pwede yung up in the air na, oh, maybe I'll do this, maybe I'll do that. It has to be documented. You need to have a checklist. You also need to make sure that you have the right tools to help you. If you're doing this as a side hustle, you have to have a mindset na this is going to be a marathon. There will be long days, long hours, but you have to make sure you have time for yourself and for your family. I think I've been reading in terms of how the generations have changes. I think it's Gen Y, not Gen Z anymore. A lot of the new generations really want to enforce this work smart, not hard. So again, we have the luxury ng may mga AI generated tools. Use it. And so yun yung advice ko as a business owner, and make sure that you embrace your risk. Pag nagkamali ka, don't be hard on yourself. Note it and make sure you learn from it. And if you have complaints from customers, you have to accept that. You have to reflect what you did wrong. If you didn't do anything wrong, then how can we avoid this? So, yun yung mga things na lagi namin inuulit. And of course, until now, Roel and I have some concerns or we have issues, but yun yung process namin. Pinag-usapan namin ni Roel na, okay, medyo natagalan tayo dito, paano tayo mag-improve? We want to make sure that the project is efficient, but at the same time, we provide quality service. So the why, resources, and planning. And sorry, one more thing. You have to do your own learning. Just because you know about how to manage business, every month, may nagabago yan sa business. Do your own professional development. Because in our times right now, ang daming changes. It's hard to cope. So, kailangan self-training, self-development.
Correct. So, kasi
Yeah.
madali lang ngayon kasi if AI can generated more than enough to do that, so you have to go with the technology. May mga plano ka bang project or say community initiative para makatulong sa Pinoy community either dito sa Australia or sa Pinas?
Well, so right now, ang gusto ko sana this year to make sure that I develop, enhance, and hone my skills. Once I can share that, hey, this works in the business for a business, then I'm happy to reach out to different business communities and even the Philippines online training to help out. I guess right now I feel like I'm very humbled, and I'm not yet. I feel like I'm not yet worthy to share my knowledge, but I'm happy to share my knowledge. I just want to make sure that I test the waters and maybe it'll work for me, and that I can empower other Filipinos to apply it to themselves.
Thank you so much for that, Rowena. Where do you see Estilo in the next 5 years and what's next for you personally as an entrepreneur?
We initially, ang Estilo, we wanted to support small businesses and artists, in particular, local artists. I think those are the ones who got hit pretty hard during the pandemic, and we wanted to use our printing business to showcase their artwork, their apparel, and that didn't actually surface when we continued with Estilo. In the next few years, I still want to. I'm still passionate about that. I think that local artists, are not consistently supported yet, and I'm an advocate for that. I think that there's a lot of underdogs here in Melbourne, in particular with Filipinos as well. And I want that's our next few steps for the next few years. Hopefully, 10 years time, one of us can do this full time. That's the goal, to make sure that we're not just supporting small business. We're going to scale to the next level and support other medium businesses, and artists, not just within Melbourne but within other states of Australia. That's the goal, and also sharing our experiences to other small businesses. Yes, so you can contact us through our socials, Ystilo_Designs on Facebook and Instagram. Alternatively, you could send us an email at sales, that's with an S, at ystilo.com.au. And our contact details are there. Anything, if you have any inquiries about apparel, different marketing products, logo designs, and other printing needs, our goal is to be that one-stop shop for your business, in the long run.